So now I think we have this interview from Kitase here. This is where shit gets interesting and annoying, and I'll show you the conclusion I reached from this. EGM magazine. At the very end of Final Fantasy VII, we see the epilogue to the whole story that takes place 500 years later. So really, you have another 497 years worth of games and movies to fill in. Don't give him ideas, please, my god. To which Yoshinori Kitase is like the producer, he says, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll try to do that. In a way, I consider that epilogue to be the true happy ending of FF7. Well, it's a happy ending, even though all human beings are destroyed. Ah ha ha! That's the laugh. Now, you can argue that, oh, well, I guess this confirms that all humans died, because one of the guys who worked on it said that. Here's the problem, and they posted that with a thinking faces. Here's the problem. I can do my own thinking face emoji, because here's what Nojima says about the ending.
In an interview with Japanese gaming magazine Dreamaga, roughly 2 years before the film's release, Nojima casually summed up the 1997 game's ending. Though people often say it's difficult to understand, the message is pretty straightforward. Basically, because of the efforts of Cloud and his allies, the planet is still around, and smoke is rising from Midgar, which means there are definitely still humans alive. The theme was quite simple. Of course, any FF7 fan worth their salt will tell you no such smoke exists in the post-credits FMV. And indeed, just moments later, art director Yusuke Naora chimed in to inform his colleague of this. Oh, I just remembered. I may have forgotten to add that smoke in. The rest of the staff present, including Kitase, Nomura, composer Nobuo Uematsu, and Advent Children co-director Takeshi Nozue, all proceeded to laugh raucously.
So which is it? Which is it? Because he also worked on FF7. And this is where a more interesting conclusion from all this can be reached, right? And we're going to talk about here. Why do these devs contradict themselves? This is the conclusion that I will reach when it comes to determining what's true and what isn't in OGFF7. I just treat OGFF7 as its own thing, as the primary source. All the answers you want are in that game itself. All the answers you want about the characters, the story, it's all in that game. Don't look at any of the compilation stuff, that's just milking the franchise. And I'll say this, with all due respect, it seems like the devs will kind of just say anything. Like, these are the same guys who say, oh, we wanted to do all this with FF7 originally, but we couldn't due to hardware limitations, which is why we have now flooded the remake with a billion fake ghosts, Red 13 moonwalking, Disney musical numbers when you hit Gold Saucer, Sephiroth showing up every 5 minutes to say soon, hello boys, it's me, Sephiroth! I'm sorry, with all due respect, they've done some incredible work, but it just feels like they'll just kind of say anything. To me, it looks like they contradict themselves, they contradict each other, and sometimes they kind of just make things up on the spot. Like, apparently, I've seen an interview, Kitase saying that FF7 and FF10 take place on the same planet. Or the same universe. It's one of these things. I may be getting a detail wrong, but like, I'm just like, I just think that's dumb. With all due respect, I think that's, the reason I think that's stupid is because that dilutes the significance of both stories of those games. During the Sakaguchi era, let's just say the best way it runs, each Final Fantasy story is kind of a series of dominoes being laid over hundreds of years, sometimes even thousands, and when the game starts, that's when all the dominoes fall. And you're just like, oh my god, whoa, you just thrust into this, and then this happens, and it was all building to this point, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the most, every Final Fantasy, the story, is kind of the most important story that's happened on that planet, like ever. Whether it's 9, whether it's 6, whether it's 7, whether it's 10. If you put 7 and 10 on the same planet, in the same world, or universe, it just dilutes the importance of it. It's just like, you just raise all these stupid questions. We're like, well, you know what? Maybe let's not kill Sin just yet, because Genova's gonna show up. Why not just wait till Genova lands, and then just point Sin in the right direction, wipe her out, problem solved. And then you also get stupid shit like in FF10-2, there's some character called Shinra, and apparently he's gonna go found Shinra later on, and that's why you actually see in the Shinra building in 7 Remake, there's a photo, and the founder of Shinra in that group photo has the same mask as that guy. It's like, well, I'm sorry. If that character in FF10-2 is going to found Shinra, then Yuna should take her Glock and blow his fucking head off, all right? Because that guy's about to ruin the world. Like, you know, you end up creating these incredibly stupid scenarios and stupid solutions to these scenarios, and it's just like, no, keep these separate. Keep these separate, man. I'll say it again. You want to know what's true and not true in OG FF7? Just treat the game itself as a primary source. Almost everything I've seen the devs say about it, it just seems to like contradict it, convolute it. It just seems to be like just new ideas they came up later on that they now want to retcon in to the original. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's stupid. Maybe if you've just arrived on the scene, you might see it all as part of one thing and it was all just as planned. No, it wasn't. While Sakaguchi was with Final Fantasy, from all accounts, he was opposed to having any sorts of like spin-offs or sequels to these games and stuff. Like the philosophy was each Final Fantasy game in itself, that was all you ever needed for it. It was all a self-contained little universe. Everything you need to know about the story is in that. As soon as Sakaguchi is out of FF, you instantly get Final Fantasy X-2. It's all just milking the franchise. In conclusion, OG Final Fantasy VII is kind of the only one that exists. just treat it like that's the only one that exists. Everything else is on par with like Simpsons comics.